Greetings, fellow denizens of Zomboid. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Rad's Guide to Project Zomboid, Episode 13, Perils of the Storm. Where we're picking up right now is we have just cleared out a survivor house that was all barricaded and everything, and we're kind of getting ready to rest for the night, more or less, because we're drowsy and it is really not that safe to continue on. So I'm getting some mechanics reading done before we go to sleep. And bright and early in the morning, we will hit the road and try to clear a path out to the bookstore. And then possibly the hardware store, rural farm supply. There's a bunch of different points of interest in this tiny little town. It's actually pretty packed full of interesting points of interest. There was one other thing that I did, which is worth pointing out. I updated the tracker yet again. All I did was add can opener to the list and then cross it off. But can openers are definitely something that one should find when looking for stuff. So I have one, but I wanted to update the tracker to include it. So this little survivor house really was underwhelming. It didn't have a lot of stuff. I think it's just because it didn't have a lot of loot spots. But, you know, whatever. Actually, this crack in the floor kind of looks like, it could be a secret loot spot, but it wasn't. Okay. No. Let's stop doing the investigation search mode and go back to our lovely book. So we're pretty tired. My guess is I'll probably go to sleep at like 11:30 or so that I can be up. Last I checked, this tropical storm might last a while, so it still could be pretty rainy and stormy tomorrow as well. Makes it tough to clear. Corner Perry and Kadath, thank you for the resubs. Oh my god, Kadath, has it really been that long? That is mind-blowing. Cheers. Lovely thunder. I'm just speeding time up a little bit, as carefully as I can, ready to hit pause if any thumping on the doors or windows or anything like that. Got through about a third of the mechanics book, which is not bad. So let's try to get to sleep. A good quality bed for a good night's sleep. That's what we like to see. Alright, 6 in the morning. Perfect. Gotta exit very carefully. Because this house, the only thing that stands between me and the zombies outside was like a closed window. Let's go ahead and eat morning some breakfast sausage. Filling up the water bottles. I guess I'll take the margarine. I don't really want to weigh myself down with a bunch of canned goods, but like, I don't know how long I'm going to be out here for. And I didn't really bring a lot of like nutritious food with me on this loot run because I did not expect, and I should have planned better, but I did not expect to be out this long. So I will opt for grabbing some of the cans. And out we go. And Glitch, thank you for bits. Oh yeah, it is stormy. So I'm parked right there, and I want to work my way to the northeast into town, trying to be as low profile as possible so that I don't have to fight any more than I really have to. That would be the beginner way. Checking the mailboxes on my way over, because you never know. There's sometimes useful magazines in them. I am not that encumbered, but my backpack is pretty full. So here is the bookstore that I wanted to go to, the Good Book, which makes it sound like it just sells Bibles. In this neck of the woods, that might be true. The door was locked, and unlike windows, you can't like jimmy a door open. Oh, I broke that window. I broke that window too. My sneaking experience is going up. It's a little bit of an exploit that you can like see it, but what that means is that there's a zombie nearby, or there was on my sneak over here because I gained a little bit of experience. So before I start searching the shelves, I'm gonna make sure that I am alone. Turning on all the lights. I actually don't know how much longer I have electricity for. Ooh, a spare crowbar. That is a big find. Because my crowbar, I didn't really bring extra weapons. My crowbar is just below half. And the bathroom, and it's empty. Okay, so we are free to loot. I'm going to try to keep a low profile so that I don't attract any zombies from outside. A little reminder about what we're looking for. So here is the list. I'm not going to keep it on the whole time. So the only level 2 book we're looking for is Metalwork. And then I'm probably not that interested in picking up, yeah, I mean, I'll pick up all the books that I can. I don't think I'm going to necessarily use them all, but better to have them and not need them. So here is Metalwork 2. That didn't take very long. And I also need Metalwork 4. So now, if I am not mistaken, Metalwork is completely done. I am all done with Metalwork books. Okay. Tailor 4 is the only Tailor book I needed. So that's fortuitous. I can mark that one off as well. So Tailor, Mechanic, and Metalwork I have completely collected. First Aid 5 I don't have. Sure, I guess. I have never even gotten past like First Aid 2 ever playing Zomboid. That's literally how not useful it is to a single player. And these 2 bookshelves are done. Alright, Carpentry 4 I needed. Swell. And mechanics, no, nothing else here. All right, second one. Cooking 4 I also need. And farming 3 and 4. I don't want to, because I'm marking them down myself. I don't want to loot so many at once and then have to remember. But now that I got farming 3 and 4, farming is completely done. I have every volume of farming. All right, the second shelf. I don't believe there's anything there I need. I will move some of these books into my backpack, although I don't think my backpack can store very much. What's my weight at? 78? All right, I'm going to overeat. I'm going to eat this entire salmon because overeating also helps with carry weight to reduce encumbrance, because I don't really want to get hurt if I can help it. Okay, what do we got here? Forage 3, forage is done. I need, no, it's not done. I need forage 4. So nothing on that rack, nothing on this rack. These are just magazines, I can skip those. I don't think I need any of these either. Carpentry 3, that was what I was really hoping to find. So now I have Carpentry 3 and 4. That covers me all the way to level 8. Functionally speaking, carpentry is really, really helpful until like level 7, and then most of the really helpful recipes drop off. So once you get past 7, let's say, there's diminishing returns is to the grind. So that means that I have every carpentry book that I find critical. And then I just picked up cooking 3 as well. So, electrical 3. That will work. And pet the dogs. Oh man. Petting the dogs, looting, and crossing things off on a checklist is complicated business. I feel like I need extra arms. So the only books left, let me put up the tracker. The only books left I need is Masterwork Carpentry, or Carpentry 5, Cooking 5, First Aid 4, Forage 4, and Trapping 5. So I can ignore any books that aren't like, oh, and here's First Aid 4. So I only need 4 more books to complete the collection. Forage 4, Carpentry 5, Cooking 5, Trapping 5. It's not a bad position to be in. So if the volumes are 1, 2, or 3s, I know that I don't need them. So that makes it really easy to scan. There's Carpentry 5. So I have every carpentry book. So I'm only missing 3 books at this point. Cook 5, Trap 5, Forge 4. And I'm going to double check all these racks. But I'm pretty sure I didn't skip it. Didn't I need Trapping 5? Oh, did I skip Trapping 5? Thank you. It's helpful to have... Oh, yeah, there we are. So trapping's completely done. I have all the trappings. Sorry. So Forage 4, Cook 5, that's it. And realistically, I'll probably never even level up to use Forage 4. It is hypothetically possible to level up to Cook 5. Oh, there's Forage 4. See, this is why you double check. So now I only need Cook 5. And the collection is done. Okay. I don't believe that was in there. So now I am going to update the priority here. We are going to attempt to search more businesses in the town. Or more, whatever, buildings. Or not all businesses. I did get the mission critical carpentry books, so if I have to bail, i.e. run away, it's fine. At this point, I have mostly what I need, and if I have to cut my losses and leave, that's totally okay. This storm is getting loud. So I'm just doing a transfer all. We'll continue reading the mechanics book because I am not at carpentry level 4 yet, meaning I can't read volume level 3. That will come in due time. I might want to actually keep the spare crowbar on me. So in the case that my crowbar breaks, I have a backup weapon. Often when you have a bigger belt, you'll have a backup weapon on your hip, which is really useful. But I don't have like a holster belt or anything like that. So the reason I didn't drive all the way up to the good book is it's very hard to tell, given the weather conditions, whether or not I would meet, like, hordes or swarms or whatever. So I really didn't want to drive all the way in, to avoid a situation where, the car attracts way more zombies than I want to deal with. So, at this point, we have done the bookshop. We are going to try to go a little bit further into town. So this is a police office, or police station. This is a doctor's office. We could dip into the doctor's office. Yeah, see, this is case in point, the zombie lurking near my driver's side door right when I exit. Actually, two of them. Because even though there's a giant storm, the zombies, like, don't... Oh, yeah, there's a whole bunch more. The zombies don't really care about weather conditions. They're not affected by it like the way the player is. So, like, fog or storms or whatever, it doesn't matter. The zombies will sniff you out all the same. Meaning that inclement weather conditions are more dangerous for the player than it is useful for the player. And, Female Spider-Man, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Alright, am I done with... You know, honestly, it's, like, impossible to tell if I'm done with the zombies that were around me. But I'll assume that I'm good. I could also start sneaking and... Oh, there's a group to the east here, and some definitely saw me. So we have two coming over, and I think the rest of the group lagged behind, which is good. One of them dove over the fence, backwards. He must play soccer. And I sprinted away from that one so that she wouldn't lunge for my shins. Character's a little panicked, but there's only 3 left. Or no, there's 4 left. No problem. Spin around, make sure nothing's coming up behind me before I loot. So we already know where West Point is. I don't need that map. I'm pretty close to probably getting all the Louisville maps. In fact, I'll check so that I can stop looting them. Yeah, I only need 1 left. The north central section. So we're almost done with Louisville's, which means we're almost done with non-annotated maps altogether, which is good. And that door immediately locked. You just got your computer up and running, you can't wait to play? Awesome! I hope a guide like this helps you out. Wow. I am having bad luck with windows. I keep breaking them as I break in. So my sneaking levels are going up, which means that there's stuff around me. It's actually leveling up pretty quickly. The faster you level up, it indicates that there are more zombies. So gaining a whole lot of experience sneaking is, like, actually kind of a bad sign. Although it does mean you're sneaking properly. Alright, I'm going to take the tweezers. So tweezers are... Oh no, I already have tweezers. Okay. Tweezers are useful if you get, like, broken glass in you and you need to pull it out. It can prevent you from cutting your hands even further, pulling broken glass out. The other thing I could do is to close the curtains as I move around in here. So I got a leather jacket. Rip that up. Another leather jacket. This doctor has a interesting wardrobe. Black frilly underpants and leather jackets. Who am I to judge? A sewing kit. Perfect. So that gives me one more of the items I was looking for, which is needles. So over at the checklist, you really can't start to do tailoring until you find a needle. I like to have spare needles because they're easy to misplace. And then always, as you can see down in the bottom left of the checklist, I say thread. Always loot thread. It weighs almost nothing, and you need a ton of it to get tailoring going. So thread is awesome to get in bulk. When you shred clothing for leather strips and the like, you will get a little bit of thread in the process, but like not enough of it. So you should always just be looting thread. That was a good find. Topping up the water bottle. And let's keep going. Does the amount of zombies increase per day? Yes, they do to a point. If you take a look at the server settings, like if you go to try to make your own custom difficulty, there will be, it will have like a starting zombie population and like a peak population, and then the amount of days until you reach peak. So you can change it so that peak is day 1 or peak is year 1. It's totally modifiable by you. All right, I'm going to bring the ham and the orange with me. That will be my snacks. I just ate a bunch of pears. Now, as far as other medical supplies, bandages are always nice to have. Hopefully, you never have to use them. Suture needles, if you have a deep wound, can be useful as well, paired with tweezers. But all the rest of the other stuff, probably not super necessary. Yes, first aid volume 1, 2, and 3. Painkillers, that's a good find. Antidepressants, hopefully I'll never need those either. And I'm going to also grab the suture needle holder for the same reason, because it improves the success of deep wound treatment. Again, likely 2 things you will not need in a typical run, which is why I didn't include them on the things to loot list, because they're kind of unusual items to be required. So the doctor's office is done. Fortunately for me, there wasn't really anyone in there. And this one's actually colored pink, meaning that it, because that in the legend, that would be like a social service. All right, let's keep moving. Is it only the strength skill that affects your character's carry limit? Yes and no. It's strength, but it's also can be affected by how much food you've eaten as well. So if you're very well fed or you're very hungry, it will change your carry weight. Alright, I do see a lot of Zed heads over this way. I'm just letting a few of them see me, and as you can see, even through this foggy rain, they spotted me no problem. They came beelining for me. I just want to pull them away far enough from the from their primary group so that their primary group doesn't hear me smash them to death. Now, the thing I was most looking for in that doctor's office, I didn't find, which was beta blockers. You can really never have enough beta blockers, and I didn't get any. All right, so here's a Louisville map. This is not the last one I needed, Crazy gun guy rip, crazy gun guy's house. Okay, so there's an L shape. It is second from the top. I'll try to annotate that myself. I don't think in this series I'm going to be going into Louisville, but you never know. So, maybe guns. I'll hold on to the annotated map. Looks like the fog is clearing up a little bit, which is going to be helpful. Shellbell, thank you for the resub. Welcome. So there's a farming supply store here. And then as we get deeper into town, there's like a farm store and hardware store. There's also, of course, this police station that I'm next to that might have ammunition and firearms. That's also not bad to go into. Someone stabbed that zombie in the heart with a bread knife. I couldn't quite get the stomp spot, so I was like, all right, crowbar time. So as you can see, just sneaking over and peeling like 2 at a time makes this fight, I mean, it will take a little bit longer, but it's a lot safer. Divide and conquer. Absolutely. Alright, there's only 2 left over there, so what I'm going to do is head into the police station. I said before, but at certain points of interest, like hospitals will have people in surgical gowns and also cops. Fire stations will have firemen. Nope, she's, or he is going to lunge right out. Around police stations, you will find people that, well, sometimes you'll find convicts. Or people in, like, jumpsuits. Oh. But typically, it's a good place to find firearms and police officers in bulletproof vests and stuff like that. So if you're looking for bulletproof vests, go to a police station, but also make sure to use a blunt weapon. Because if you're using a sharp weapon, you're going to destroy the Kevlar vests that you're hoping to loot. Alright, there are some more people in here. So as you saw, I opened up the window so that they wouldn't break it, but then I sprinted away from it so that I would be safe from the lunges. Okay, he has ammo and a holster. So I'm going to wear the holster. And the holster opens up another slot on my hotbar down below. There is a double holster, which will open up 2 slots. And holsters work when you have a belt on. So it's like you're putting the holster on your belt. So you, unless you spawn naked or something, you start off with a belt. So the belt gives you the initial slots. The back, you always have. You have belt left, belt right, and then I now have holster right. Which, you know, if I wanted to walk around with like a handgun or something like that, that might be useful. Alright, that's a police officer with Kevlar vest. And I'm just trying to thin out the crowd so they can go in there more safely. Clearing out the surrounding area so they don't swarm me. In a way, I'm sort of like casing the house or the building, analyzing it from multiple angles and limiting my risk when I breach. Because entering a building is one of the more dangerous things you can do, because there's you could be jumping through a window into a big swarm of zombies, right? And it will be really hard for you to then spin around and get out before they swarm you. Alright, he has a key to the place. That will work. There is a Kevlar vest, like I was saying, and it's in mint condition, so I'll pick it up. Because things like windows, you can't jump through instantly. It takes time. So if there's a door that hasn't been swarmed by zombies, it makes it a little bit easier to go into the building so that you can, you know, take a step in, and if it's bad, you can step out and close the door behind you. But it's a lot harder to do when you don't have a door. Firearms. So I did mention that shotguns are definitely the way to level up. Here's an 9mm pistol. We already have a deagle. This is a 2x scope that can be put on rifles. Probably not something I'm going to be using for a long time. And a bullet bandolier, which, if I'm not mistaken, allows you to reload faster when you wear it. But it does weigh a bit, so it's not something to wear all the time. But I will take all this stuff for later. Now, if I wanted to, I could always put the handgun on my hip into the holster slot, but I don't think I want that as my everyday carry. Unless I actually intend to use it, it just weighs something. And this was a tiny, tiny little police station, so I'm already done looting it. Visibility's getting a little bit better. I can definitely see way further than I could before. I might be here for another night, though. It's 2 p.m. And the likelihood of me, like, finishing up all the points of interest in town and leaving, I would say kind of low. Yeah, but you never know. So let's mark that police station down. Oh, wrong town. This has been cleared. So I want to go here. This is like a rural farm supply place, which might have tools and might have, you know, farming uses, that kind of stuff. But I don't want to have to kill all these zombies at once, so let's pull a few off. Hey, this Dragon Life, thank you for the sub. And like, in advance too. I don't see that very often. The other thing you see me do constantly is like spin around, because you have a pretty limited vision cone. You have a tiny bit of vision behind you, and there are traits that you can take to increase your sort of like rear facing vision cone. But if you're not checking your 6 often, you can get snuck up on. And that would, I would say, is one of the most common ways to die in the game, is to just have a zombie behind you when you don't expect it, when you're not ready for it. I see that all the time. There we go. Maxie, thank you for the resub too. Alright, they're pretty thinned out. The farming supplies has like 6 zombies out front. And then, yeah. So, I want to clear all of the sort of wanderers around so they can't join in and become one large group. Because the larger the group, the less effective your character will be at clearing it, because of panic levels. Hello? I did just get winded. I haven't really been resting between fights. So I'm going to want to, after these 2 are dead, take a breather so that my fighting efficiency goes back up. Because I have moderate exertion as a moodlet on the top right. Some of that is actually as a result of sneaking around. A pipe wrench. That is on my list of things to get. And also a trowel will work too. So in the list of things to get, I have, let me open it up. I have shovel, but it doesn't matter if it's a shovel or, like a shovel would be better, I would say, than a trowel. Because a shovel can do things that a trowel can't, but a trowel is a farming tool, obviously. Bunch of fertilizer, which I really don't need. So I'm going to right click on this chair here and rest. Did the power go out yet? It has not, no. Now these are intact windows, so zombies aren't going to be able to dive through them. And I just want to face, outwards so I can see if anything's coming while I do a quick rest. Current weight is 78 and dropping, so let's also do something nasty, which is to eat half a ham. Because, like, why not? Ray here needs to put on some weight, so she should just ham it up. A garden saw does exactly what a regular saw does, it's just a different name. Oh, some sports tires. I've decided against trying to maintain a sports car, so I'm not going to bother with that. It seems like the storm is mostly passing, which is really going to help me see where the hell I'm going and avoiding zombies and the like. Got keys to this car. Cool. And then more guns and another sewing kit. Pretty beat up car. I don't want to carry around the sewing kit with me, so I just pulled it out of the glove box so I could grab the thread. I don't even need the needle because I already have multiple now. A baseball bat, but that baseball bat is pretty beat up. There's also a trauma bag with some medical supplies. A hiking bag. Man, this is their bug out trunk. They had a lot of things ready for the apocalypse, I think. Unfortunately, I don't think it ended well for them, because they're not driving around. They seem to be dead. I can hear zombies on that door, and this is the hardware store, or rather a rural supply store that I wanted to go into. Here's another key. This is to the cop car. Found it on the ground. And not much in there of interest. Some ammo? Sure. Now, the one thing is, this car looks to be in pretty good condition. It also has sirens. And the reason I mentioned sirens is if I wanted to... No, it's out of gas. It's in really good condition, though. It's 74%. If I wanted to lure all the zombies out away from town, I could drive the cop car to the edge of town, stick on the sirens, and it would draw, much like a car alarm or house alarm, it would draw all the zombies to them. So I have keys to both these vehicles, but I don't have gasoline to them. I could gas up the cop car, but I don't think that there's enough zombies left in town for me to warrant doing that strategy. I'm going to start clearing off this group, and then once this group is taken care of, I can take care of the guy inside. Also, I think I just pulled more zombies than I meant to, so I'm going to take beta blockers so that my accuracy doesn't go to hell. Thank you for tuning in to Rad's Guide to Project Zomboid, which originally streamed live on Twitch, April 10th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you on next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow zombie survivors.